Good evening, everyone. I'm Amanda Galley and I'm one of your directors. I'm also on the Membership and Community Council, and I'm pleased to be joined this evening by Tara Simmons, our Head of Community and Membership Engagement. We also still have a number of online members observing the meeting, and we're pleased that you've decided to stay with us. So we're delighted now to be able to take this opportunity to share with you how we're engaging with our members locally and bringing community proposition to life. In a short while, we will also have some time to hear from one of our valued community partners and a speaker on a topic that we think you're going to really find interesting to hear about. As well as this, we're hoping to have some time to answer some more of your questions on membership and community engagement. So your board members have been unequivocal in their expectations following the merger and the bringing together of our societies that there's a firm commitment to strengthening the engagement of our members, making sure we're supporting the things that matter to you, whilst actively promoting and raising awareness of how cooperation delivers meaningful impact in our communities. This includes clearly demonstrating how we are living our values, recognising the time and the financial investments made in our communities, both locally, nationally, and as Debbie stated, internationally. As Elaine said earlier, the bringing together of three wonderful independent cooperatives has meant that across the breadth of our society, there is an absolute wealth of amazing activity going on that's delivering this commitment. And we can deliver it already every day. And as you will see some of the evidence of that shortly in a video that we will share with you all. As a reminder, the board made the decision as part of the integration plan to keep the existing elected member engagement groups in place for this year. Whilst this is being reviewed by the Governance Review Working Group, this was agreed to maintain momentum, but also to enable us to work in collaboration with these member representatives to help shape the future community and member engagement strategy. However, this is our society and we all have our own views and opinions. Therefore, we really didn't want to miss the opportunity this evening to ask you for your input into the research as we start on our journey to review things together. I'm now going to hand over to Tara, who's going to talk us through a little bit more about this. Thank you, Tara.
Thanks, Amanda, and a warm welcome from me to everyone as well. As Amanda said, we recognise there's a huge amount of significant and really inspiring work that's taking place across the society to engage our members in lots and lots of cooperative activity and supporting our communities in many, many ways. But rather than me talking about that anymore, we've pulled together a short video that will give you a snapshot of just some of that brilliant activity that's taken place in the past year, and then I'm sure you will agree this brings this to life for everybody.
This year marks something special. The coming together of three cooperatives, one shared purpose and one growing movement. Welcome to our co-op, built by our members, powered by our colleagues, rooted in our communities. And while our name may be new, what we stand for has never changed. Supporting our communities, putting people first, using our success to make a difference. Because we're member-owned, every decision starts with people. Last year alone, more than 3,350 members connected with us at events and members' meetings, sharing ideas, shaping priorities, and strengthening our cooperative voice. That voice turns into action. Over the past year, we've reinvested significantly into our communities, supporting nearly 1,000 local groups and good causes across the country. From projects that keep people active and connected, to initiatives supporting mental health, families and equal opportunities, to greener spaces that help communities thrive. We've celebrated local pride, sponsoring grassroots girls' football teams after the Lionesses' success in summer and restoring much-loved landmarks like Derby's iconic Co-op Cow. But we don't do this alone. We work alongside local and national partners, from charities and schools to grassroots organisations and cooperatives. Together, we've supported over 300 food banks, delivered wellbeing workshops and created spaces where people can connect, from coffee mornings to careers events, health checks to community kitchens, even dressing up as a fruit at the Little Legs Festival in Braintree. And through initiatives like our Christmas Toy Appeal, members, colleagues and customers help donate over 10,000 gifts to children who would otherwise go without. We're also keeping our communities safe, with nearly 340 defibrillators and 190 bleed kits available on our sites. Last year alone, they were used 232 times to provide life-saving support. Our members are making a difference in other ways too. Through small acts like rounding up the till through pennies, our members and customers have donated over £500,000 to local causes and national partners like Samaritans. From dawn walks at sunrise, to Brew Monday conversations over a cuppa, to community events across our regions, every pound raised helps change lives. And when crisis strikes, we stand together, supporting appeals like the Myanmar earthquake through the Disaster Emergency Committee. We're investing in the next generation of co-operators. This year, we've worked with nearly 500 schools, reaching over 5,000 young people to help them build confidence, understand money, and explore future careers. We hosted 312 work experience placements in the last year, and through programmes like Fairer Access to Work in Oxford and our Fairer Futures programme in Walsall, we're opening doors to employment, with 68% of participants moving into permanent roles. And this year, we've pledged 300 apprenticeships, because opportunity should be for everyone. This is cooperation in action, members shaping decisions, communities coming together, and people supporting people. From local activities and groups, to member meetings and shared ideas, our movement is growing stronger every day. 3 former societies, 1 shared future. Together, we are our co-op. And together, we're building stronger communities every day.
Well, members, I hope you enjoyed that, and it made you as proud as it makes me to see the difference, the investment, the impact and the positive change in our communities that, without doubt, we're making every day. This work is all coordinated by a small team of passionate colleagues, and with much of the effort supported by colleagues and local active members out there in our communities. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them for the dedication, the energy that they bring to this work on behalf of us all. And let's give them a round of applause. But members, this isn't new news. We all know that the 3 societies have a long history that's packed with examples of how we've demonstrated that we're a different kind of business. We have members at our heart and that we live by our values every day, including supporting that need us most in our communities. And we recognise that by coming together as one society, we could better serve the communities and make an even greater positive difference and impact. So, let's talk a little about where we are now. The 3 societies have come together and they've got current plans in place, and with a wide range of exciting programmes and activities covering a multitude of topics taking place that's having some fantastic impact. All of these plans remain the same for this year and are being delivered, as we said. However, we can't help but recognise that there are significant differences and inconsistencies in our current approach. To address this, we need to review what we're doing now, to agree a new and aligned strategy for both the member engagement and community proposition for the future, supported by a robust and efficient framework that maximises the impact of all of our efforts. So, we've agreed that the best way to approach this is by involving you, our members, more widely to see that what they think and to capture their views, as well as using member surveys and local discussions that will feed into this review. We'll then work with elected members to help shape the future plans. And as Amanda said earlier, across the society, there's nearly 100 members. many of which are at the 7 meetings this evening. Can I ask that if you're a member of one of those member and community councils or the member strategic committee, that you raise your hand so everybody knows that you're in the room. So, what we'd like to do now is start with you, the members in the room this evening, and ask you for your input to the start of that review. We're going to use those handheld terminals again to do some live research here in the room. We're going to ask you just a few questions and ask you to give a view and have a little time on your table to discuss the questions and results that come from that. If you're viewing online, then the questions will appear on the screen and you can take part as everybody else, as you did in the sessions earlier. There's a feedback sheet on every table, and we would ask if somebody would kindly get hold of the sheet and the pen and capture any key points that come out of the discussions that you're going to have after the voting. So if you just want to find those sheets on your table, that would be great. We want you to capture any observations, comments, or anything that you think is key, and so that will be really valuable to us going forward. So let's start. Can you all have your handsets to the ready? The first question is, assistant?
Do you think that we should be using our sites to support the needs of the local community where we have the space to do so? Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no. So you can vote now. It's a long 30 seconds when you stood up here.
13. I
10.
think everybody's voted. No, we've not.
No, not quite.
Some people are still thinking about it.
Shortly, so you have got 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we've got some people that still
voting.
Hang on a second.
Oh.
Just waiting. Okay.
Voting is now closed. Okay, so that was question 1. So have we all got the hang of that now? Fab. So the second question. What types of engagement do you value most and what would you like to see more of? So please select the one that's most valuable to you. Not what your friends think, what means the most to you. Is it going to be number 1, online activities on topics that I care about? Or number 2, in-person activities at the local stores where I live? Or 3, activities where I can volunteer with other local members or community groups? Blimey, we've got 4 on this one. 4, pre-recorded information sessions that I can view online in my own time. And 5, other. Please make a note of any of these others on your tables as part of your discussion. And please vote now.
Before we go to the next question, give them a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So we seem to have lots of noise there on the tables. Are you writing all those other suggestions down for us? Because we really need to capture them tonight. So, where are we at? I've lost my train of thought now, Tara. There we go. So, what type of support do you think is most valuable to our communities and we should focus on our efforts on? So again, please select the one that is most important to you. Working with local charities or community groups. 2, making financial donations or grants. 3, working with schools. 4, facilitating local volunteering support for members to take part in. Or 5, other. Again, if it's other, can you please make a note on your tables because we need to collate all that information a little bit later on. So you can please vote now. So voting is going to be closed in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay. Yeah, we'll just let all the other groups join in. Okay. Lovely, though, all those votes are recorded. So, where do you think we should be focusing any fundraising activity that we do? Should that go to local good causes or charities? Press 1. National charities? Press 2. And then please vote now. Okay, so the voting will close in 3, 2, 1, now. I like saying that. Okay. So while we're just waiting for those votes to come in, we'd just like to...
The results.
Yep. Yeah, they're all in lovely. So thank you so much for the feedback that you provided us this evening. This will add huge value to helping us to understand what's most important to our members and how we should reflect that in our new strategy and approach as we go forward. As I said earlier, we will be using this along with lots of other members' feedback that we hope to collate in the coming months. We'll review all of this with our elected members to help us develop the future strategy and look forward to sharing the outcomes of that review with you at this meeting next year.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. I'm just looking across at our technical guys over there, whether we've got the results to show on the screen. Yeah, okay, so we're just going to show the results before we move on to our community partner. Okay, so question 1, if you can remember, was we were asking on question 1 with regard to should we... I've got my notes up here, which isn't helpful. On site, sorry, on sites. We've gone out of sync a little bit with the script. So should we be doing more activities on sites where we've got the space to do so? Clearly, some of our stores are pretty small. It would be pretty difficult to do some community activity in store. Thank you. And therefore, it would be really quite hard to do that. But where we've got the space to do so, clearly the sentiment in the room and online is that we should be trying to use our sites much more to do some activity. That's great, thank you. Question 2 results. Oh, okay. So you can see a mixture there, and that just shows the breadth of the sentiment in the room of where people feel that we should be doing more and more activities. So some thoughts there, and I hope you've captured those thoughts on your tables, on the sheets as well as, which is brilliant. Question 3 results. Working with local charities and community groups by a mile, really, is where we think we should be focusing our efforts and which is actually valuable and important to you as members. That's great. And question 4. Local good causes versus national charities. Okay. So thank you for that. And I must stress that that is just one small piece of research that we're going to do. We're actually going to go out to the wider membership. A number of you will know, and it was referred to earlier in part 1, that actually we did a member survey quite recently. And that member survey was the start of that research to really find out what members value and what they want from their member and community proposition going forward. We're going to collate all of that together. So I'm going to move us on now. That you will have seen in the video earlier that we work with some tremendously fabulous people and some amazing partnerships in our communities. And we want to take this opportunity to introduce you to them so you can hear for yourself some of the impacts that you're going to make. So it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Nikki, who's the Chief Executive of Aspire Oxfordshire, who's going to share with you how we've worked together in recent years to develop and deliver our Fairer Access to Work programme. So please give Nikki a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Good evening, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here this evening to talk to you a little bit about the partnership we've developed with the Co-op through the Fairer Access to Work programme. At Aspire, we support people facing a wide range of challenges, including homelessness, poor mental health, long-term unemployment, recovery from substance misuse, and social isolation. And many of the people we work alongside want to move forward in their lives and into employment, but quite often the biggest challenge that they face is that first opportunity to get back into an environment that will enable them to rebuild their confidence to take that first step. And that's where Fairer Access to Work was created to help bridge that gap for people. What's been particularly powerful about the partnership is that it's never just been about placements or statistics. It really is about the people that we're working with and the support that we can give them, the opportunity, the confidence, and genuinely creating supportive routes back into work for people. And already we're seeing the impact that that's had on people's lives. Through Aspire's employment and training work, we could clearly see that there were people who were motivated and capable of working, but just needed that supportive route back into the workplace. Being out of work for a long time can have a really huge impact on confidence and self-esteem. What people often need is not just advice about employment and employability, but that environment where actually they can genuinely experience the working environment to help them gain that workplace experience and the confidence and feel that they can be supported back into work in a really tangible way. And that's what Fairer Access to Work has really helped to create. It gives people the chance to gain that real experience in a live working environment, but also at the same time receive tailored support around the barriers that they personally might actually face in going back into the workplace. And I think this partnership in particular really does reflect the values of both the organisations, both of Aspire and the Co-op, that we share around the concepts of community, inclusion, fairness, and creating opportunities locally for people who might otherwise struggle to access them. What makes this programme work so well is the balance between practical support and genuine kindness given to them in that work experience environment. At Aspire, we provide person-centred support around confidence, well-being, employability and overcoming barriers. But equally important has been the really, really valuable support that participants have received from colleagues in our local cooperative stores. Sometimes it's the small things that make the biggest difference. Feeling welcomed into a team, feeling trusted, having people show you patience and encouragement and feeling that people around you actually believe you can succeed. And while the programme absolutely helps people to develop employability skills, it also helps them rebuild their confidence in themselves and start to have a more positive outlook on their own lives. Through Fairer Access to Work, participants have been able to really gain hands-on experience, tailored coaching and support and access genuine employment opportunities in an environment that feels supportive and realistic. That combination creates a lasting impact. We are seeing people move into employment, improve their well-being, regain independence and reconnect with their communities. And because that experience takes place in a real working environment, people leave with skills, experience and confidence that genuinely prepare them for sustainable employment moving forward. I also want to recognise that the environment that's been created, particularly within the Marston store, because for many participants, this becomes simply much more than simply a placement. It becomes a safe first step back into work, a place where people can really gain that routine, feel part of a team and think positively about the future and their work opportunities. And that environment only exists because of the commitment, openness, kindness and genuine engagement with the programme that colleagues and management in that store have really embraced and shown to the programme. And I think it's a really good opportunity tonight to show that real recognition for that. They really do deserve it. This partnership also demonstrates the important role that businesses can play in communities, not only through fundraising or sponsorship, but by creating meaningful opportunities for people who might otherwise find it difficult to get back into the workplace. Since launching in 2024, the programme has achieved some incredible results and outcomes. So far, 43 people have successfully completed the programme, with 24 participants moving into employment. More than 540 hours of work experience have been delivered, and 13 participants have actually secured employment directly within Co-op stores. But behind every number is a person, and that person will have rebuilt their confidence, regained independence, and taken a really important step forward in their lives. And none of that would have been possible without the commitment and support shown by colleagues and teams across the Co-op. One of the young people who went through the programme came to the programme from Aspire's Our House accommodation project in Witney. And having completed the programme, secured employment at the Madeley Park Co-op store. Their feedback on the programme was really, really positive. It worked. It helped me regain confidence and then get a job at the Co-op, which has been fantastic. The staff there and my manager, Cindy, have been wonderful to me, and I thank the Aspire staff and colleagues at the Co-op for everything they've done for me. For me, that really captures why partnerships like this matter, because actually it's the outcomes for those people that are really at the heart of this. Employment is about far more than just having an income. It's about confidence, dignity, belonging, independence, and having hope for the future. And together, that really is what we're helping people to create. So on behalf of Aspire and all of the people who have been benefited from the Fairer Access to Work programme, I'd like to say thank you to the Co-op for the partnership, commitment and the shared belief that they have in this programme with us. Fairer Access to Work shows what can be achieved when organisations come together with shared values and a genuine commitment to helping people create opportunities within their communities. Together, we're helping people move forwards into employment. And importantly, we're showing that inclusive employment is not only possible, but it's genuinely transformational for individuals, communities and organisations alike. So thank you for your continued support and for listening this evening. Thank you.
Well, sometimes actually hearing from the people who are really at the heart of these partnerships has the impact. We can write as many reports, but the evidence is actually in what people say. And I think that was a fantastic quote from that person who'd been through the programme, as well as the candidate who'd been through the programme. And I have to say, I'd really like to give another round of applause. There are a number of colleagues in the room this evening who have been personally involved in driving this programme, have believed in it, have given hours above and beyond their normal working day, includes a number of operational managers, and John and Adam both in the room this evening. So I want to give them a round of applause for really putting in the effort and making sure that this has been the success that it's been. So thank you. So, as I said, from Nikki's point of view, hearing live from Nikki is really important about what the difference the partnership has made and how it's grown from strength to strength. Thank you. And I'm going to hand back now to Amanda. And Amanda's going to take, between us, we're going to do the next Q&A session. We are.
Thank you, Tara. And yes, I agree just how amazing it is to hear all about the Fairer Access to Work programme and the difference it's making. So members, we now have a short amount of time to take any questions that you may have about our membership and community engagement. So as before, please raise your hands and wait for the microphone to be brought to you so we can all hear your questions. Thank you. We've got some questions. Oh, yeah, just one there. Lovely.
Thank you very much. There's a danger when you create mega organisations, as you are doing now, much larger organisations, that you get remote from the members. And I think that you've got a tendency to treat the members as a huge mass and not as small local groups. I'm from Dorchester, and you could have engaged locally with us, not the whole membership, but with us, and I think you should have. I'm saying this as a friend of the co-op because I want you to be successful, but I fear that if you do the things that you've done to the Dorchester, there were more than 300 people in Dorchester Abbey when they heard that the shop might close, more than is here, I suspect, and they were all very upset, but they didn't feel that the co-op had engaged with them. And I really want to say to you, please engage at the local level as well as at the global level. And also, if you're going to do something major, please do a proper social impact assessment. Don't just say you're closing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any? Okay, do we have any more questions in the room? Oh, yeah. Got a lady over here.
Hello, thank you indeed for tonight's event and opportunity that it is. Forgive me if I can't enunciate so well and I have somewhat a cold. And on that subject, today in the news, I believe it was the country of Sweden that said that they were, I'm not recalling the exact details unfortunately, but the concept was body heat. And you have membership, by definition, they get together at points, as we've been looking at tonight. And it's to reap energy from body heat. We can look ahead, not be short-termist, as you're keen not to be, ideally, and think of the winter months, which seem to get longer and longer, unfortunately. And in the absence of always having a warm bank, then we can create our own mini ones and help with the energy situation, especially as tariffs change in July onwards. So there will be a lot of tech involved, but it's already been mooted on a hyper-local basis here in the adjoining Rose Hill area. Some years ago, if only we could generate heat from the heat pump and generator systems that occur in many a supermarket on different scales, small and larger and medium, to help with energy and lighting levels locally. And other places could replicate such schemes. So have your capital and expenditure on energies departments got any thoughts about how practical? We know it's a bit more long term than people would like, but it's future, and you mentioned about bright futures, and it's all in the planning, all in the detail.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask Debbie to answer that question, and she's got all the answers on that one.
I wish I had, Amanda. What a great idea. We have looked at loads of different ways of actually collecting energy. And as I mentioned in my report, we're already at over 30% of green energy self-sufficiency. So that really helps us when the caps go up, the tariffs go up, etc. We have been investing around 3 million a year in green energy self-sufficiency initiatives, and we're actually looking at the pad that is behind the kiosk in all of our stores. And if you imagine how many steps are taken on that when people are actually serving people at the kiosk, it could be immense. We're also looking for a tiny door where children can enter, and actually that they exit the store by a slide and land onto a soft play area that clearly is secure. So we're looking at loads of opportunities, but I'd love to hear more detail, because if great things are happening somewhere else in the world, we'll steal with pride. Thank you.
That's lovely. I think we've just got time for just one more to the gentleman at the back of the room, please.
Luke Blakey, South London. Could I ask how the creation of a membership and community council type arrangement in the Essex hub area is going? Obviously, there is a membership in Chelmsford Star, and the fact that there will be an Essex hub was announced. How's it progressed? Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
I can answer that one. I know very much.
You've got Bob.
Absolutely. I mean, Mr. Wilson's put his hand straight up there, so get a microphone to Bob. Live.
Hi. So, as it happens, Luke, I'm answering your question. I happen to be the director who lives closest to Chelmsford. I live in Essex, so a number of the younger directors call me Uncle Bob, such is my advancing years. But in a sense, I've become uncle to the Chelmsford members. And we have clusters within our membership and community councils. We are forming an Essex cluster. A number of former directors have agreed to participate. I think there have been founding and, if I'm correct, 3 follow-up meetings which have developed a plan for the year. What I can tell you with absolute certainty is that Central Society has given a commitment to support and develop member engagement in Chelmsford, and we're at work in doing so. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. And there was a lady.
Barbara.
This lady at the front.
Last one.
Hello, my name's Helen. Just a query about nicer stores. Are they co-op stores or just supported by a co-op?
And so, I mean, Debbie can answer this, but the NISA stores are basically part of the Co-op Group franchise. But I'll let Debbie elaborate a little bit more on that one.
So NISA was an independent buying group, and it was actually the Northern Independent Shopkeepers Association, and that's what NISA actually stands for. They have a distribution centre, which is in Scunthorpe, but the cooperative group bought NISA a few years ago. So what that means is our buying volume has increased as a result of that, but they are still run as separate organisations, but they do stock co-op products, but all of the retailers are independent retailers. None of the NISA stores are run by Co-op Group. Does that make sense? Thank you.
Well, thank you all for your questions this evening. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the speaker that we think that you'll be most interested in hearing from. We're going to hear from Hannah Bourne-Taylor. Now, she's a conservationist who launched a national campaign for swifts in 2022, and she's going to talk to us about that now. Unfortunately, we won't have any time to ask Hannah any questions, but I know that she'll be staying around at the end of the evening. So if you do want to have a quick chat with her or ask her any questions, you can do so then. So without further ado, please give Hannah a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm starting a stopwatch. I've got 5 minutes to talk about birds. It's going to be like a speed dating thing between Swifts and Co-op. I'm really hoping for a match. To quote Debbie, our co-op's heart is our community. And I think that might be why I've been invited tonight, because if I just use the slides, it might work. Have we got a Swift? Yes. Swifts, out of the 10,000 species of birds on Earth, are the ones that spend more time airborne than any other. Yet, when they come home to us. And that quite literally, our home is their home. So that community vibe is the theme tonight, so go with it because it's a bit abstract to start with. They've just arrived from their wintering grounds in the Congo Basin rainforests. And every year they return normally on the 8th of May. So look out for them. They look like that. They've got the forked tails. They're only 45 grams, the size of a Kit Kat. And they have not landed since they last were here in August. In fact, if you imagine Mr. and Mrs. Swift, they left in August, crossed the Sahara Desert, had a bit of snacking to do over the rainforests, flew all the way back home to the exact nesting site in our buildings that they left 9 months before. That's pretty cool. If you're asleep, then wake up, because that is an extraordinary fact. If you're wondering what they look like, since we're never really that close to them, this, I don't know whether you can hear it, but this is a swift that I raised who fledged from my bedroom window in July after 17 days of full-on commitment from me with that swift I named Boudica, and that was her purring when I was stroking her. So, why am I talking to you about these incredible birds? Well, they need our help, and I feel like as a cooperative, together we really can do a lot to help these birds. So they've been here from an epoch that lasted from 60 million years ago. They're now on the brink, basically. So in the last 30 years, they've declined in their breeding population by 60%, and they're now down to an estimated sub 40,000 pairs. They're on the red list, and they are critical when it comes to the whole extinction thing. Why? Lots of factors always play a part, but there's a major issue with their nesting habitat. If you think they are nesting in little nooks and crannies under our eaves, natural ones. They've been there since we cut down the forests that they used to nest in the holes of the trees back in the 17th century. So they've adapted already. But these little holes that we are repairing, we're renovating, we're insulating, and all of those are very noble things for us. But these little guys are without their homes to such an extent that they are really needing our help. So luckily, unlike a lot of environmental issues, there is a brick that solves all the problems. It is quite remarkable. This is what it looks like. You can see that it just looks like that in a wall. Can you imagine 5 swifts in this? It's quite extraordinary. This is a very quick video that I'll show you. They really do work.
Oh, amazing.
That's not my voice. People love them too. It's not just me. They work in Swift boxes, external, and also Swift bricks. These are the birds.
Sparrows in the end there.
These are the birds. I'm going to stop it because it's going to go on. These are all the birds that can, not all at the same time, nest in these bricks. So 4 are red listed: sparrows, martins, swifts, and starlings. And then there are 4 bonus birds just for fun. Also, what's really important about this with the community and the cooperative idea is that these are our very closest wild neighbours. So they connect with, we can connect with nature no matter our mobility or age, young, old, able, unable, we can see and interact with these birds, and they are extraordinary things. So I'm pretty passionate about this because I know this is such a simple solution. I have spent a long time talking to a lot of politicians, including some Cooperative Party members, to try to get this into our legislation. I did succeed in Scotland in January. It was a huge movement with unanimous support from environmental organisations and 110,000 people who originally signed this petition. But it's been an ongoing campaign, an ongoing fight, and it's something that is such an easy thing for all of us, but I think it's a people power issue. So I'm one solo unfunded campaigner who has spent the last 4 years dedicated to this little tiny brick, just because I think these birds are absolutely extraordinary. And I think that hopefully members of the co-op will either know about this already and may have even signed the petition, in which case thank you very much, or may be thinking, oh, actually, that's an interesting, simple idea. And actually, yes, did you say that they fly for 10 months non-stop every year? And yeah, they do. And also the fledgling that you saw earlier, she, if she's still alive, and I hope she is, she won't land for 3 years. She won't land until she needs a home. Our home is their home. They're longer standing members of our communities because they can live for over 20 years. So some of the swifts that live on our buildings now have probably been there longer than we have. So Tonight, this is more of a plea, really, the people power plea, the cooperative, the to work together, the community, the heart, the home, to save these birds from extinction in this country requires all of us to come together and unite for birds. So hopefully some of that might ring true to some of you, because we just need a tipping point in terms of practical conservation where we put these boxes and bricks in our homes, our buildings, perhaps even some of our co-op buildings too. Thank you very much for having me. Sorry, I overrun by 1 minute, sorry.
It's worked, don't you worry. So thank you so much, Hannah, and what an interesting subject. And as I said, Hannah is around for a while, so please do take the opportunity to chat more if you want to. There's also a stand where you've got some literature, is that right?
I've got me.
Oh, well, there you go. You've got Hannah. That's wonderful. So, members, that brings us to the end of your 2026 annual members meeting, and we do hope that you found this evening informative, valuable and enjoyable. So to find out if that's the case, we're going to use the handsets now for one last time. We want you to rate this evening's meeting for us, so handsets at the ready. Please give tonight's meeting a score out of 5. Now, 1 is being the lowest, don't get it wrong, 5 being the highest, so please vote now. Just remember, 1's the lowest, 5's the highest. Okay. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. And that is the vote closed. Okay. Is that closed? Let's see if it's all the votes are in. Let's have a look. Yeah. So thank you, members. It's been great to see that you found the meeting valuable. As Elaine mentioned earlier, our interim meetings are scheduled to take place on the 21st of October. So please look out for the details of those, and we'd love for you to come and join us again then. So just before you leave, one last little ask. I promise this is the last thing I'm going to ask you for. We'd really like some of your feedback. So again, if you'd like to scan the QR code on the screen, you can find it on the QR code on posters around the room. And if you scan this, it'll take you to a form with a few questions, just so that you can give us some more of your detailed, valuable feedback. If you want a paper and pen version, please see one of the colleagues around the room, at the side of the room, who will have some of these available. But more importantly, thank you again for coming. We really do appreciate your support. We look forward to seeing you at the interim meeting on Wednesday the 21st of October. And more importantly, all have a safe journey home this evening. So thank you for coming, and good night.
Are broken. A lover's promise never came with a maybe. So many words are left unspoken. The silent voices are driving me crazy. After all the pain you caused.
evening, everyone. I'm Amanda Galley and I'm one of your directors. I'm also on the Membership and Community Council, and I'm pleased to be joined this evening by Tara